Yo YouTube everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today this has been my most requested video by far. It is the rank play classes and settings that I use. Sit back, relax, let's get right into it, starting off with a Rival 9 build. Okay, to be honest, the attachments are the same for every Rival 9 build. Okay, so if you want to use a sub, these are the attachments you have to use without question. The best setup for the Rival 9. Make sure to put these ones on, pause it, screenshot it, try it out. The gun absolutely beams. Okay, it's a good gun. The problem we have is with the current map set, it's just really not effective. Because majority of the maps are long range, you really can't beam with it. But I think on High Rise, I think Karachi, I think on, what other map can you use it on? Skid Row on certain times. I think there's times and places for it. Maybe Search and Destroy as well on certain times like Invasion. The point is you can get away with it on certain scenarios. Going over here, I personally would use the knife. I don't like the knife. The only reason I don't use a knife... Okay, let me go back. I would use a knife. The reason why I would use a knife is because of the mobility. You don't need a pistol when you're playing with a rival. The reason why is, well, you're going to be using the rival as your close combat weapon, okay? So you should be using the knife to simply get around the map and get the mobility. The only reason why I haven't used a knife was because when I play tournaments and CMGs and all that stuff, I can't use the knife because it's GA'd, right? So your timings are slightly off. That's the only reason, but I really am thinking of just going and using the knife. So if it was me in rank play, 1,000,000%, I would say use the knife. Now, I haven't got them now, but I normally have multiple classes, okay? So what I would say is have one stun grenade class with a Semtex, one stun grenade class with a frag grenade, and the same with the smokes. So you have one stun, one Semtex, one stun, one frag, one smoke, one Semtex, one smoke, one frag. So you could have about 4 classes for your rival, okay? So you're ready for every scenario. Smoke grenades, obviously you guys can only use them in Search and Destroy. What I personally do to save time and effort, I have one class with smoke and Semtex, one class with smoke and frag. What happens is when the respawn, when it's a hard point, this is automatically banned. It gives you a stun. So that way you can save time, save effort. My Renetti class, honestly, I only use these two. I sometimes have a slate reflector as well. I don't use a muzzle or anything crazy. Now you can probably get away with using, I wouldn't use a magazine. I think you can use a muzzle. The muzzle you can definitely use. Again, the reason I haven't used it is just simply because I was buying my GAs, so that when I play 8s or stuff like that, I can use the same class. But I would say to go for a muzzle if you want to. You could probably use any of them. I'd probably say this one's a good one, the Mini Break S. I can't remember which one the pros use, to be honest, but I would say that's a good one. I'll try to find it and put it in the comments. But for me, this is my class. I actually really like it, and I think you're okay with it. I've tried it with the XRK Heavy. Again, I think it's personal preference. It does reduce it slightly, but it's nothing too crazy. I still think it's really, really broken with it on. So although the fire rate does go down, I don't think you can feel it too much. So I would say this is my class. And if you really wanted to, you can go for like a muzzle, but I'm actually okay with this. For me, this is a really good Renetti build. I don't even use a sight sometimes. I prefer it like this. But for me, this is a really good Renetti build. Going over to the trophy system, if you wanted to, what you could do is have dead silence and have lightweight. That is a really good combination. For respawn, you can just move around a bit more. Again, if you have the knife on as well, you're just going to be getting to places quicker. Quicker places, a lot more efficient for power position, just getting there quicker, cutting people off, all that good stuff. Me personally, I'm a trophy system, covert sneakers, simple as that. I don't like changing, I like keeping it like that. But I probably will get a lightweight dead silence class just to mix things up. And yeah, I think that's probably the only thing. I did just today switch to quick grip. I normally had assault gloves on, but just today I switched to quick grip, and I feel like it's a lot better for throwing equipment, although it doesn't say it. So this is my main Rival 9 class, okay? I will normally have stuns and Semtex. Again, have multiple classes, but same thing. The reason why I use Semtex over frag grenade for a sub is simply because in certain scenarios, you want to be quick with your equipment. As a submachine gun, you have to be quick, okay? Now, when you're with your equipment, you have to be quick and you have to throw things without thinking too much. You have to kind of cut lanes. And I feel like a Semtex is a lot more valuable as an SMG player because you won't have times in gunfights to really hold a frag and cook it and bounce it off walls and stuff. You kind of have to chuck it at walls and just be quick. However, in Search and Destroy, I would definitely use a frag grenade because it's a lot more versatile and a lot easier for Search and Destroy. Now we have 2 MCW classes, okay? Before we continue, same thing. Renetti build, this is probably the best build I would personally go for. If you want to add a muzzle, try them out. Again, it's down to you. If you want recoil control, go for this one. If you want this one, go for this one. It gives you recoil control, a little bit less range. Completely up to you how you guys want to use your Renetti. But that's the build I've got. Again, screenshot it, try it out. Going over, I have 2 MTW builds. Now again, when I have all my classes, I just reset them for the video to make it easier. I would have the same thing, okay? I'd have a stun. I wouldn't really have a smoke with my AR. If you want to, you can. But I would have a Semtex and a frag grenade for both of my classes. In terms of the attachments, the exact same. I don't touch dead silence with this. I simply use a trophy system and I use covert sneakers. This does not change. Quick grip. Really enjoy quick grip on the AR class. EOD padding, 100%. The Renetti build, again, I showed you the same Renetti build. This is very important for the AR. You're going to use it as your pocket gun, okay? You're going to be using this a lot more, so I highly recommend you actually stacking out your Renetti, unlike me. I'm probably going to just stack it out now, put this on, and again, I don't really like the stock in this, to be honest, but magazine, I don't think you need a magazine. It's got enough. If you want a muzzle, probably go for the mini break. So this is what I would do. I would stack my Renetti class, just make sure it's ready for a fight when I need it at close range, but this is my MTW build. You guys ready? We have 2 builds, okay? The ones I've been using in my videos and you guys have been asking me like crazy is this build. I believe this is the same as Methods. Now, the reason I didn't make a video so far is I was trying out so many builds off stream, trying to find the perfect build. And I finally brought it down to 2. This is going to be your ADS build. This is going to be your close range, your snappy build. Just the build that you're going to use when you're at those close range gunfights, the skid rows, the Karachis. This is just an all-round beamer. An absolute insane build. Me personally, it's my favorite build, okay? This is what I use on a day-to-day basis. My favorite build. The attachments are simple. You start off with a Cyclone long barrel. Go over to the... We're going to forget the sight for now. We'll go to that at the end. Go over to the Precision Heavy Stock. Then we got the RB Claw. Then we go over to the DR6 hand stop. The only difference is the sight, okay? Do you want the slate reflector or do you want the MK3? Now, me personally, the way I have it is like this. On my faster ADS build, I like to have the slate reflector. I feel like up close, the slate is a lot better, okay? Again, could be personal preference, could be anything. For me, I prefer the slate reflector up close. So that is my fast ADS build. I use it majority of the time. But there's also times where I want to get that long range build. And that's where I get my long range MCW build. Very similar. Very, very similar. You see the only difference, we get rid of the heavy stock. So with the heavy stock, you see we lose some walking speed and movement speed. We get the aiming idle sway and firing stability. This gun, this stock, it just makes it a little bit better at that close range. But then we go over here. We get rid of the stock. We add on the L4R flash hider. This is going to slow down your ADS slightly, but give you a lot more recoil and gun kick control. Now, because this is long range, I like to use the MK3. For me, this has been working perfectly. The MK3 on my long range gun has been working insane. You can see this gun is actually a laser, okay? So we have the MK3 on my long range, and we have the slate on my close range. I keep on going back and forth between the two. Now, this has just made me really, really like using both builds. If I go onto evasion, if I go into like an invasion control, I need to hold those long lanes, I'm going straight to this build. Search and destroy, straight to this build, okay? My long range build. If I want to play, you know, sub-base hardpoint, even terminals, certain hills, maybe Skid Row, Karachi, I go to the ADS build. Both builds very similar. This is for close range, this is for long range. These are my 3 builds. Try them out, use them, let me know what you think. I think they're both insane. To be honest, the biggest game changer for me has been the MK3 on the long range and the ADS having the slate reflector. Now, we're not done yet. Straight into the settings, okay? I told you guys, you waited a long time. Let's go into settings. I'm actually Diamond 3 solo queue. So a lot of people commenting down below, you can't hit Diamond. I mean, I'm Diamond 3 solo queue. I haven't played too much. I think I could be into Crimson, but hopefully next season. Starting off with the quick settings. I don't really have these in my default. When I got my new gaming PC, so this is my new PC. By the way, I'm on a dual PC setup right now. This will reset. So what I would say is there's certain settings I'd put on my favorite, and one of them will be field of view, and we'll get into that in a second. Keyboard and mouse, you guys know I'm a controller player. I don't fuck around with keyboard and mouse, and I'm trolling. But yeah, I'm a controller player. So we go down to controller. Here you guys go. Button layout. I play tactical flipped. I've got a scuff, which is broken. I'm now using an elite controller, and I've just purchased another scuff, so it should be here next week, and we should be good to go. Back again. You guys know my stick drift was all over the place. That should be fixed. Flip LB and LT. Someone actually asked me in today's stream, why do you flip it? Well, If you have trigger stops, you probably don't need to flip it. The reason why most people do have L1 and R1 to shoot, LB, LB to shoot, is because the response to go down is a lot quicker. So that's exactly why they do it, okay? Going over down, controller vibration, turn that shit off. You do not need that. Going over down again, we have the dead zones. Dead zones, really important stuff. You can test them now, okay? So if we move our left stick down, you can see there's 0 stick drift, okay? Which is fine. So we leave it. What you want to do is you want to put your left stick on 1, your right stick minimum. You want to put this on 1. Then you want to test it, okay? If we test it, you can see. Can you see it's not in the center? It's going, like, it's a little bit to the low. Like, you see it's a little bit lower. Perfect. That means it's not perfect, but that means there's a little bit of stick drift. So we will go higher, put it on 2 or 3, test it again. 0 stick drift, okay? You want to put this closest to 0 as possible, but have 0 stick drift. Then your left stick max, you want to put that a little bit lower. Right stick max, I put it on 95. Left trigger, right triggers, I know some people put it on 1. I just have it on 0. I don't think it makes much of a difference. And there you go. Those are my settings. Now, going through, we have the sensitivity. I've tried many, many different sensitivities. I am a fan of 6.6. Some people do say that this does change your aim and to put it on 1. I personally don't really think it's true, but there's no harm in doing it. So I'm just going to do it again just to keep it reset. Go back to 6.6. That's exactly how you do it if you want to go back and see. 6.6, definitely the way to go. I could say 7.7 as well. I have tried with 10.7. I definitely mix it up, but for now, I'm enjoying 6.6 and I'm going to keep it on that. Nothing else has changed there. Don't need to worry about it. Aim response curve type, the most important setting single-handedly. Put that shit on dynamic, okay? That shit needs to be dynamic. Incredibly broken. Put that shit on. Everything else, absolutely fine. I fuck around with default. I don't really care about Black Ops. I've always used default. For me, I don't like switching it. I'm just happy with default, so that's why I use it. Going down, make sure this is off, and perfect. There you go. Movement. This is a weird one. I do think it's better without ATS. I think if you have single tap run on, it's actually a bit better. But the reason why I have ATS on is because when I play Warzone, I want to be able to use ATS because sprinting around that map is a nightmare. So because I play Warzone and multiplayer, this is what I use. ATS, slide, maintain, sprint, keep that shit on. If you guys are challenger players, you cannot use this. You have to, I think it's this. I think it's off and double tap. If you're trying to compete, I recommend sticking to those settings because you could be good with ATS. If you go, if you get a chance to really compete and get into LAN on the league and stuff, you're not going to be able to show off if you're not used to the settings, okay? For people playing it for fun, at home, wherever you're trying to do that, me, I'm playing for content, I will do this. And that is partly why I also want to change my classes to the best rank play classes as well, because I'm not trying to compete in the CDL. So for me, I need to just, have fun with it. Anyways, back to the topic. This is what I currently run. These I keep off because it does mess your slide cancels, mess your jumps off, all that stuff. This one's really important. There is actually a way. That's why on my new scarf I'll be able to do it, but there's a way you can bind a button so you can still dolphin dive off things. I need to find that out and make a video on it, okay? I'm going to do some research over the next few days when I get my scarf, but there's a way where you can bind a button so you can still dolphin dive off ledges and have slide only. The reason you have slide only is because on this game slide cancelling is back. You want to be able to slide a lot more efficient. Dolphin diving is quite irrelevant now, so you want to be able to slide, okay? Going through, underwater, very, very rare, but put that off, parachute off. This, keep on, and everything else is pretty much standard stuff, to be honest. I don't really change anything here. This one's interesting. I personally like prioritize interact. I think most people have prioritized reload. Again, I like Warzone. I'm just a fan of interact. I feel like it makes it a lot quicker. When I go to a door, I press X once, it opens, it shuts. I'm a big fan of it. Everything else, I think it's pretty much standard. Nothing crazy. Graphic settings. You guys have been asking for the graphic settings, so you know what? Here we go. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Wait, am I trolling? Guys, I've been... No way. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. It's not been for too long, but I'm an idiot. My FPS has actually been capped at 120. So, guys, we find... I can't remember which one it is. I think it's exclusive you want on. Bro, I'm such an idiot. How have I messed this up? So, guys, I have a new PC, okay? I finally did it. All because of you guys, I was able to reinvest, get a new PC. We have an AMD Radeon RX 79, I can't say it, 7900 XT. I finally got a new monitor, which is a 240 Hertz monitor. 1440p, which is why my gameplay I think looks pretty nice for you guys. There you go. That's my, you know, the stuff I'm working on. Going down, nothing really changes. In terms of frames, I'm able to get about 250 frames while also maintaining a really, really nice quality. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do. Upscaling, sharpening, make sure you put this on this. Very important stuff. Very important stuff, okay? Go down. All this stuff, I would recommend copying me. The reason why I had some of these on normal and not very low, I was doing some testing. I saw Iceman Isaac's video, the Warzone streamer, and I saw his recommendations. And some of these, you put them on normal and high, it doesn't affect the FPS, but it really improves the quality. Texture resolution, that's one of the settings I would put on normal. Texture filter, put on high. I've actually tested these out as well. They make a difference. They don't chalk the FPS. This, keep that off. Normal, very low. Stuff like particle actually drains your FPS. You don't need it. Bullet impacts. This is important for seeing hit markers. I would keep it on. Off. Shader. This one makes a big difference, to be honest. The game just looks cleaner with it on. I put it on medium. Going down, low. This one again, put it on normal. Everything else is basically low, low, low and off, okay? FOV, another question I get a lot. What is my FOV? Why do I use it? When I'm playing Warzone, I bump that shit to 120. You need to be seeing the map. For multiplayer, I used to play on 103. I saw a lot of ARs, Dashy, Scrappy use 97. I started using it. I haven't gone back. I think it's very, very good for multiplayer. You're able to really, really see the opponents out on head glitches at closer range. And I'm a big, big fan of it. I'm a big, big fan of it. Anyways, going down, we got the weapon field of view on wide, which is fine. That's perfect. Is that? I think that's fine. Anyways, yeah, keep that affected, and yeah, everything else looks good, man. Motion blur, keep that shit off. These are the settings you want to go over. Audio, very, very personal preference. Mine, I've just tuned it for my streams, and that's about it. Oh, actually, there's one more I want to talk about. Color customization. Again, if you guys want the best graphics, best looking game, I would recommend going to Filter 2, putting it on both. 100 just makes the game look cleaner, stuff like that. HUD, turn that shit, you know, move that shit inwards if you want, just to make it a little bit easier. This shit should be on square, make sure it's on square. On crosshair, this is a big one, this is a huge one. You want this on static, okay, and you want center dot on for sure. I've tried with the 3. I actually like larger instead of largest. I feel like larger is a good balance. The rest of it, again, just copy the settings. People have asked me in my comments, how do you put the FPS on and stuff like that? It's down here. If you go to HUD, telemetry, you can actually customize what you want on, right? So I would recommend maybe putting GPU temperature on, maybe CPU temperature as well, or the time or stuff like that. Clock, I don't really care about. But yeah, this is the rest of the stuff, man. This is basically all the stuff I have on. And that's everything. That is my settings for rank play, my class setups, YouTube. You guys know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, and I will catch you guys for another video tomorrow. Peace.